There have been some questions with regard to the sodium content of GoFoods products. This is Steve Shank, founder of GoFoods Global. I would like to start this discussion by letting all of you know that when any of our products are formulated, careful consideration is given to each one of the ingredients we place in these recipes. We wouldn't tell you that this is the best food on the planet if we didn't have the intention of making it so. The subject of sodium is absolutely no exception. Here is our position on sodium. Unrefined sea salt is intentionally included in GoFoods recipes as a natural ingredient in quantities essential to maintain optimal health. A 2006 study published in the American Journal of Medicine found that the sodium intake of less than 2,300 milligrams, the daily recommended allowance, was associated with a 28% increase of all-cause mortality. In short, people who consume too little salt are more likely to have an earlier and higher death rate. I need to point out that we have a very peculiar situation here. The ingredient and nutritional panels on most food packaging brag about the fact that they have 100% of the recommended daily allowance, RDA. However, with sodium, there has been such a brouhaha and misconceptions created about it that its RDA is seen as a maximum allowable. Think about it. The American Journal of Medicine is telling us with their study that anything less than 2,300 milligrams per day is actually dangerous. But here is a very important point. When GoFoods lists either salt or sodium on its ingredient list, it is referring to unrefined sea salt as opposed to regular table salt. This is extremely important. Please understand that most people are not aware of the fact that there is considerable difference between the processed table salt that is most commonly used and natural sea salt derived from the sea. Common table salt is 99.9% sodium chloride. This is obtained from mined salt deposits, which are heat blasted at more than 1,200 degrees Fahrenheit. After that, they're chemically treated. The enormous heat causes an alteration in the natural chemical structure of the salt, along with stripping it of all minerals other than the sodium chloride. This heavily processed salt can throw your body out of gear totally. It's interesting that when people started consuming this chemically treated, demineralized salt about 100 years ago, high blood pressure and water retention that had never been linked with salt before became associated with salt intake. Now, people who are concerned with nutrition and health have realized for a long time that heavy processing of food destroys its nutrition and also eliminates the body's ability to recognize it as food. So let's look at sea salt. Sea salt is unrefined salt that comes directly from the sea or ancient sea beds and retains traces of various minerals such as iodine, zinc, magnesium, potassium, calcium, manganese, and iron. Being unprocessed, sea salt has many healthy advantages. It actually reduces blood pressure, plus helps the adrenals, kidneys, and liver to work more effectively. It also has the ability to help to boost your immune system. Unrefined sea salt helps to regulate the levels of water in the body, which helps to maintain the electrolytic balance, as well as helping to balance blood sugar levels. So again, we have been able to debunk a myth. And one more time, you can prove the counsel, so often and wisely stated, don't mess with Mother Nature. This is Steve Shank. I hope that this little commentary will help you understand that the products of GoFoods Global are truly the best food on the planet.
As the price at the pump continues to rise,
I spend $70 every week on my gas.
there's another necessity out there making customers cringe at the register.
And the grocery store, especially poultry products, the eggs, the milk, all of that has increased tremendously.
Economists say food prices are up nearly 7%. Combine that with the high price at the pump, and that means the combined costs of food and gas are eating up 15% of Americans' total income. That's 3% higher than 2009 at the height of the recession. Americans are certainly feeling the pinch.
It's getting so bad that I had to go to work, and right now I went for bankruptcy today.
And it's not just food at the grocery store.
Fast food restaurants also feeling the pinch. Recent reports suggest industry giant McDonald's will cautiously increase their prices They blame it on the high cost of beef and dairy, and customers say they're noticing.
Even the fast food places are increasing.
So what are Americans doing to combat these hikes? Compromise is the name of the game.
We use more money on basics and less money on the extra frills of going out. So we eat in many more times than we used to.
Every time I look at my car, I think, can I walk?
Air conditioning has gone up, so instead of it clicking on at 73, it doesn't click on until 75.
Economists believe the rise in prices may signal another recession. The prospect of that has economy-weary Americans bracing.
We don't know where things are going.
Anthony Miller, Fox 13 News.
Do you have any food reserves in your home right now? How long could you provide food for your family if the food supply was cut off? A month? A week? 3 days? Wouldn't you feel better if you had the necessary reserves? Have you ever noticed that the more advanced we get, the less prepared we are? Many things that defined life only 100 years ago are so convenient today that we don't really think about what would happen if that convenience were gone. Consider how we get our food. We just go down to the grocery store and grab a few things. But what if something happened that interrupted the food supply to the store? How long would it take for the shelves to be wiped out? What would you do? How long could you and your family survive? You know, for all the other important things in our lives, we have a variety of professionals, from mechanics to doctors, to help cover our bases. Why don't we also have a food professional? Food is our greatest dependency. Yet most of us find ourselves unprepared for the uncertainties that lie ahead. Why take chances? Why not do something about it? You've already taken the first step. Keep moving forward with this tour, and we can help you put a plan together and even show you how to get your food for free.